Back again for another video, and today we're going to move on some seedlings that germinated not too long ago, and we've had a little bit more germination since the last time that you saw them. I'll give you a quick look. So these are the seeds that were recently sown, and you can see we've had quite a bit of germination. So on this side we've got the peppers, and we did some soaked seeds, some not soaked, and since you last saw them you can definitely see that we've had a result and even more germination over the last couple of days. And then on that side it's the little gem lettuce. We only put a few seeds in that tray because we don't want loads of little gem lettuce all at once, but you'll see a lot better when we're actually transplanting them that some of these seeds are stretched. We've had a few overcast days, so they have gone leggy, but that is not really a problem. We can fix it at this stage quite easily, as you can with lots of other plants as well. So we'll get these took out, put into their own little compartments, and we'll go over that as we transplant them very shortly. So we've got trays and we're transferring them into these 12 cell ones. Very small area, a very small amount of compost, and you can pop them back indoors and it's not a problem. So that's the first thing that we'll do, get the compost in, and then we'll start moving these plants on. That's the reason why I put them in these trays as well, so that when we get the overspill we still save that excess of compost to use again. We don't want to be chucking compost away. And then I'm just going to press that compost down. So we have got a nice firm bed, and then I'll just top it off. And before we do anything, we want to give this compost a good watering. And we'll let that soak in. And then I'm just going to use a pen to make holes right in centre, and I'm going to make these holes really deep. And then we can sort out those leggy plants that we've got. If we do it at this stage, you'll get a lot stronger, healthier plant in the long run. And that's why I wet the compost first, because when you make the holes it doesn't fall back in because it's dry. It just makes that job a bit easier. We'll start off with these peppers, and I'm going to try and pick the biggest ones out of these. We've got quite a variation in size, as you can see, so the bigger ones is what we're going to look at first. And what we're going to do is just carefully dig those plants out. And this is two together, just give them a shake and they'll come apart. So as you can see, we've got a bit of root on that, and that's all we need. And then we're just going to drop it into that hole, and then using that pen again and push it down. And you can bury your peppers a little bit deeper if they've got leggy. It's not going to hurt those plants. So I've just firmed around that edge. We've got a shorter, stockier plant, and that's what we're aiming for. So again, we'll dig in, just carefully lift them, and they come out so easily. And you can see again we have got a nice bit of root on there, so we'll drop that on top and then just press it down and straighten it out. And as quick as that, that's your second one done. I'm going to get one from over here. That don't look a bad size at all. Nice roots once again. So in, push it down, and then just straighten it out and firm around that edge as well. There's one that we took out before there. It's a bit smaller, but it has got plenty of roots, so we'll use that one as well. It's a nice sunny day today as well, which we've been looking forward to for quite a while. Again, prick it out, pushing it down, making sure we get all that root in, and then just even it out like that. I'm just making sure that the leaves aren't sat on the compost. We need a little bit of clearance between that. So there's another nice size one there. a couple of these are just starting to get the true leaves as well on top, which is great. So down again, you can see that I'm centering it and then leaving that bit of clearance. Very quick, easy job to do. So I'll finish these off and then we'll move on to those little gems. So there you go, 12 peppers all moved on, and better, stockier little plants as well. And we've also got plenty more left over that we can grow on for later use. And then we've got these little gem lettuce, and these are really small. You can leave them in and let them grow on a bit bigger if you want, but I'm just taking them out now. And be careful when you do that. They've only got tiny little root systems on them at the moment. And as I said, there's a couple that's leggy. But you've just seen how to fix that problem. So same as before, bury them right down to these leaves and move on to your next one. As long as you've got even a tiny amount of root, these plants will do perfectly fine. As you can see, that one's got quite a long bit of root on it. We're pushing it down, firming around, and that one has got its first true leaf trying to grow right there. So we'll do some more. If they go down a little bit too far, just ease them back up again, but be careful not to break those leaves. And I'll show you this one, because that has also got its first true leaf coming right there. Hopefully you can make that out. It is very tiny at the moment. And as we did with peppers, make sure that the leaves are not touching the compost. In a short space of time, we've got all those moved on. So we'll get the rest done, and that's 2 trays of plants, so 24 plants in total, in a very small area, using a very small bit of compost. And while we're outside, on what's turned out to be another really nice, sunny, warm day, we'll just check out the progress of some other seeds that were sown quite recently. This is another planter that we've recently set up, and we hadn't had any germination in it for quite a while. So what I did is I put some bubble wrap over the top of this planter and just fixed it down with some drawing pins. And just a few days later, we have got some germination. And that is the mixed lettuce that we did. I can see signs of some spinach trying to come through. You probably not see that, but there is a little plant trying to come through there. So I'm sure the rest of the seedlings will be on the way. And then we'll take a look in this propagator. And once again you can see we've now got germination. And in there we've got 2 trays of Paris Market carrots, which are the round type. We've also got Florence red onions. And then we've got some purple spring onions. So they're looking really well. There's only a couple of cells that as yet aren't showing any signs of germination, but that is a pretty good average. So if we take a look in the bottom as well, that's where we put our peas. And they didn't seem to be doing much of anything, but over the last couple of days they've really shot up. And we're going to leave those for a little while longer before we put them in those planters that we bought. But really pleased with the progress so far of these. It looks like virtually every seed has germinated. So there you go, very quick, easy job to do. We've fixed those leggy plants as well, which is the most important thing that you need to do. You can see that we now have got some germination in that 2-tier planter outside, as peas are well and truly on the way, and we're seeing signs of those carrots and onions. So coming up towards the end of March, everything is looking great. And as these days get warmer and longer, we'll be getting more and more germination, faster germination, and as plants are going to start and grow a lot quicker. If you're interested in seeing what other seeds we're going to be sowing over the next couple of weeks, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I'll see you very soon. Take care.